Hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? We are back for another video. How y'all doing? I hope y'all are doing well. It is Friday. It is Friday. I said, let me check back in with my people because we got some stuff to talk about. Hey, Angela Who know. Hey, Roxy R. Hey, everybody coming in. Got my banner up here. So everything said in the video is alleged and in my opinion and is used for fair use and entertainment. You guys see the description. You guys see my thumbnail, so you know what we're talking about. So we're going to be talking about a new clip that was just released for Love and Marriage Huntsville. We're going to discuss that. We're going to talk about, now we've already talked about Kimmy doing her interview with Carlos King, talking about how Maurice is out all time of night and that she doesn't like that. But she really can't do anything about it. She just goes home and she goes to bed while Maurice is out at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, now it sounds like that Marsau does the same thing. So we're going to get into that as well. We're going to look at a clip, a few clips rather, for an interview that that Marsau did with Carlos, where he's talking about some things that I kind of feel like he might be lying a little bit somewhere in there. And he also talks about the comeback group. He talks about Mel and Martel's relationship. He talks about growing up in poverty. He talks about a few things. So we're going to get into it. Submissive wife, a woman being submissive, shows business. He's talking about quite a few things. Carlos is being messy, saying that Maurice is a millimeter. They talk about the core 6 in this particular interview. And Marsau helping Martel study for the builder's license, and how Tisha was actually at the birthday party with the kids whenever Martel showed up there, and Melody asked him to leave and started acting a fool. So Tisha was actually there and ran some information back to Marsau and them in terms of what happened and how Martel showed his ass. Yeah, so we're going to get into all that. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's get into this clip. I'm going to play it on my phone. We're going to listen to the audio because it is, I don't want on acting crazy about the damn, about the video. So we're going to listen to the audio, okay? All right, so in this audio, what we're going to listen to is Tisha and Marsau. They're having a conversation. This is when Marsau had his vasectomy and did not run it by Tisha. Tisha was out of town. She came back home to find out that Marsau went ahead and got his vasectomy. Martel is the one that drove him there. When Tisha asked him who brought you home or who drove you home, he couldn't give her a straight answer. So she's going to also talk about how he's away and he's out all night most of the time, and that she does not get affection from him. He does not bring her flowers when she's asked several times and says that she loves flowers, and he just does not bring her flowers. But his excuse was that he has to pay the bills. So I said before, if paying the light bill is going to set you back from not being able to give your wife flowers when she said many times that that's something that she likes, then y'all might need to get y'all finances in order. So let's get into this. Let me turn my phone all the way up so we can hear it, okay? And here we go.
It's that day. You had the vasectomy done today? Really? That's what kind of surgery you had? Lord have mercy. Why you didn't text me and let me know? We've been talking about this for a long time. 2 weeks ago, though. No, we've been talking about this before then. I know. Why I'm saying get it done? Mom. I just want to know, because that don't sound right, myself. Mom, let me talk to him for a second. Okay, well, you need to talk to him. Okay. Mom. I will. I can't believe this. Like, I'm really, really upset because that's major. Like, how would you feel if I would have had something done without confirming with you? If you snuck in and had your tubes tied, yes, you might get a new present. That's not funny at all. It's not funny at all. Babe, it's the medicine. Your appointment was today. What time? Who took you? Martel took me. Okay. Well, who picked you up? Not my wife. Because you did not confirm with me.
Wow.
Marsau and I have been distant lately. And the fact that he had a vasectomy done today and didn't remind me is clear that we have a communication problem. And that worries me. So my thing is that somebody tell you that, oh, your husband's been cheating on you. And then now for the past, 3 months, you've been hanging out late, saying that you're working on stuff. See, I promise you. And you've been abandoning me. Like, I feel like you're not showing me any attention, any affection, or anything at home. I've been trying to balance all this stuff and still make sure you're taken care of, make sure the kids are taken care of. But I'm the one that's not getting anything in return right now from you. That's because you're always busy doing all this other stuff. I told you at the beginning. So does that make it okay for you not to show me any attention? No, baby. Just because you decided that, hey, I want to go out and better myself, doesn't mean the world stops. We still have bills, we still have investments, we still got Uptown, we still got Black, we still got hotel beds, we still got Scope, we still got Infinity Properties, all these things. And we still have each other. We should be the core of everything. Okay, that sounds good. That sounds like a Facebook quote. No, it doesn't. Like that sounds serious. Like something. Okay. That's why when I told you, I was like, Marsau, I like flowers. I was like, I wish you would give me flowers more. And he's like, okay, babe, I'll make that happen. That have not even happened. There's a thing called flowers, and there's a thing called mortgage. And there's a thing called making your wife feel special, making your wife feel like you're thinking about her, and making your wife feel like you want her. You know how I do it? You know how I do it? Why? I work my ass off. Work is not everything. No, babe, but right now it is. You have to balance that, Marsau. Man, that stuff you feel like just because you out there working, you make money. No, I don't. You don't have to do nothing else. No, that's not what I feel like. Well, that's what you're saying. I feel like if I'm not out there working, then won't nothing happen. Yes, that's part of things too. But also, I am too. Okay. The kids too. Like, you can't just be working all the time, and you can't make time to eat dinner with us, play games with us. Like, that's not okay.
So that just shows that he really has clocked out. And it has a lot to do with how they got into the relationship. Like he said, he only dated her a month exclusively before they got married. And really, they only got married because she got pregnant. So it's giving that he really is more so a marriage of convenience. Marsau wants to do what Marsau wants to do. And he's just like Maurice. They both hang out. They're both married men, and they both like to hang out all damn night. I told you guys about, there's a clip out there where Tisha was calling Marsau when he was out at a bar, and she was asking him, Marsau, it's late. What time are you coming home? And he got irritated with her, and he got, agitated, and was telling her, Tisha, what do you want? And was trying to rush her off the phone. So, and I also told you guys about how Ariane was saying that Marsau was trying to talk to her sister. And it was coincidentally at the same club that Ariane also used to hang out with Martel. So her sister used to be there and would kind of be like the third wheel, but Marsau was trying to talk to Ariane's sister. So when the rumors are out saying that Marsau is out here cheating and these things are going on, I think everybody kind of does believe that there's been some infidelities going on in their relationship, even though they don't want to admit it. Now, I do have a clip that talks about where Marsau slips up and says in an interview that Tisha cheated on him before. Y'all remember the quote where he said, when he called her cheap back Tisha, and I said before, somebody can't do something back to you unless you've already done it. All right, so let's get into some of these clips. Let's get into the new clip that's coming out. I hope I don't have to edit it, but if we do, it's okay. Let's get into the new clip that's out for tomorrow's episode, okay? So we're going to watch that. And Martel is on here asking about Mel. Destiny has put together some type of event to try to pull everybody together. Martel is still asking if Mel is going to be there, knowing that they have this protective order and all this other stuff where they can't be in the same space. So he is still asking about Mel. Weird. Okay. Destiny is saying she invited her, which you already know Mel ain't showing up nowhere that Martel is going to be. So let's get into this clip. All right. Let's get into this clip. Let me pull this up. My goodness. I got so many screens going here, Lord. Lord. Hold up. Let me get back to my main screen. Lord. Let's see. All right, boom. My main screen. All right, so let's go ahead and play the new clip for what's coming up.
The whole point of us coming together today was for us to have some fun, some lighthearted fun, have a good time.
You ain't bring the main person that always got problems with somebody.
What was that?
Melody.
She was invited.
Hey, it is so crazy because I'm looking at the ratio like 50-50, right? Like this 50% right here, we all been in jail.
And that's damn funny because all y'all on
no, hey, arrested, so not jail.
The perfect lineup. There you go, Marsau. Pros and cons.
The whole point of
actually, that most of the cast have been arrested. I mean, Tisha's been arrested a couple times. Marsau's been arrested. Destiny's been arrested. Martel's been arrested. Maurice has been arrested. Lance Fletcher's been arrested. The other son has been what's his name? Chris Jr. has been arrested. Who else? It's somebody else. I'm missing somebody. It's somebody else. It's somebody else. It's somebody else. I'm missing somebody else. It's 7. It's somebody else. But yeah, so far that's 7 of the cast that have been arrested already. I mean, damn. Yeah. So that's 7. So here's Martel. Let's play it one more time. What Destiny saying, she invited Mel knowing that Martel was going to be there and they can't be around each other. So I'm not sure why that took place and why Martel is asking if Mel's going to be there, but then you calling her problematic and saying she got a problem with everybody. He always likes to paint the narrative that Mel got a problem with everybody when truly, Martel, you are the problematic one. Everybody's fighting with you. Nobody wants to film with you, but you just let it fly out of your mouth so easily that Melody is there's the problem in the group.
Us coming together today was for us to have some fun, some lighthearted fun, have a good time.
You ain't bring the main person that always got problems with somebody.
What was that?
Melody.
She was invited.
Hey, it is so crazy because I'm looking at the ratio like 50-50, right? Like this 50% right here, we all been in jail.
And that's damn funny because all y'all on the
No,
same side.
hey, arrested, not jail.
The perfect lineup. There you go, Marsau. Pros and cons.
The whole point of us coming together.
Okay. All right, so let's get into this other clip for the new episode coming up. You guys may have seen it. I'm gonna watch it again. All right, and boom.
On Love and Marriage Huntsville. Whenever your spouse, and you know I've been on the side of it, is out here doing stuff that's stupid, it does affect you. Was it really the middle of the day? I was like, ooh, I know Kimmy ain't happy right now.
I feel like maybe we should all just get everybody together and like have
Like everybody?
like everybody.
Oh, they started before. Got it.
I've been a liar about things that we've been through over the years, and a lot of experiences that you've had with me. I've been a liar.
Yeah. Every time he opens his mouth and says something about Marsau, he gonna be talking about Martel. Because Marsau gonna tell about what Marsau knows about Martel, and Martel ain't gonna like that.
I always respected your man.
You never respected the marriage. You never respected.
Once he loses respect for me, I'm gonna lose respect for
No,
y'all.
I don't have respect for you.
Okay, so y'all see that. Now, y'all remember in the other clip that was released where Martel says that Tisha slept with one of his homeboys. Now, could that be what Marsau was talking about when he tried to deny it here? Tisha tried to deny it. But could that be the same person that Marsau was referring to in this upcoming clip that I'm going to play for you guys, where he says he let it slip out that Tisha cheated on him as well? So we've heard some infidelity stuff going on between the two of them. Now, we've always heard that Marsau was cheating, but for him to vocalize that Tisha has cheated on him, maybe it was a get back, or maybe she knew that he was with someone else or showing someone else attention. Now, if she's saying that he's been going for months, y'all just heard in the other clip that I just played for you guys that he's been going for months without showing her affection, without wanting to eat dinner with them, without barely coming home, staying out all night. Those are signs of something where you've emotionally checked out, and maybe you are showing that attention to someone else. Now, if you're in a relationship, you already know your partner's you know how they kind of move in terms of their schedule, in terms of when they want it. Okay, y'all get what I'm saying, women? You already know how when your man wanted, and y'all know how regular he wanted. All right, because you know his sex schedule. Let's just say it, shit. You know his sex schedule. You know when he like it, how he like it. You know how often he likes it. So if he kind of gets out of that algorithm of that type of movement, then you just kind of be looking like, okay, what's going on here? So if you're used to getting it every night, every other night, you wake up in the morning, you're getting that good in the morning, because everybody knows that morning sex is the best. So if you're going from having that particular type of rhythm to it switching up, and he's not touching you at all, he's not showing you affection, he's not, wanting to eat dinner or want to be around you, he's not touching you, he doesn't want to go anywhere with you. Now, all the things that he used to do, it might be something going on there. Now, I was talking about how there were women in the DMs coming up and saying that Marsau was reaching out to them for threesomes. Maybe he's tired. Threesomes take a lot of work. It's 2 other people in the room that's got to get pleased. 2 other women in the room got to be pleased. Okay. And if Tisha's not one of those women, then she's going to be left out in the equation, because by the time he gets home, he's tired. He ain't trying to be humping around and doing nothing else by the time he get home, because he's tired. He's ready to go to bed after he just got out of bed. But my point is, if you're noticing a pattern, a change of pattern in your sex life and in your life, period, as your spouse is not showing you the type of affection that you're used to getting, then there may be some signs of infidelity. If he's wanting to stay out all night and he's irritated when you try to call him and check in to see where he is, it shouldn't irritate him if you're calling him as his wife to find out where he is. I mean, hell, he should be checking in with you to say, hey, babe, I'm still out with the fellas. I'll probably be back home like in another hour. You know, I ain't going to be out too much longer, probably another hour. I'll be back at the house. Da, 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 da. That way she's not worrying about you. She's not wondering about you, because you can't really sleep well when you know that your better half is not in the home, because anything could happen. Okay. And I said the same thing about Kimmy. It's disrespectful for Maurice to stay out 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, but now to hear that Marsau was doing the very same thing, could they be together on the same bullshit? Because Kimmy, you weren't getting the affection either, because you had to get a support dog in order to kind of get through the day, because Maurice was not giving you that attention that he used to give you, because that attention was probably directed outside the home. So let's get into this clip. Let's stop sharing. I want to kind of breeze through this interview. All right. We're going to get into this because there's a lot of points and a lot of things that kind of was mentioned here. And I want to share that. It kind of, y'all remember how I said you kind of have to pull the old to kind of connect to the new. It's like a puzzle when it comes to these Love and Marriage Huntsville cast members, baby, because they say one thing, but then later on it's another. And then they get mad at us because we figure the shit out, and it is... It's crazy. So let me speed it up just slightly so that we can get through this. All right. So shout out to Carlos King, because that's where we're watching. This is an interview between he and, as you guys can see, Marsau. So coming up, what he's going to be talking about is him being approached to be on TV. Did he ever think that he would be approached to be on TV? And then it's going to get into the meat and potatoes and the juicy stuff. Okay. So y'all bear with me, because I'm going to kind of narrate through here because I've watched it. So I just kind of made some notes. Okay.
To be on TV?
Carlos, true answer, man. Didn't really care that much about it. I don't watch reality TV.
Thanks for being here, Kate.
And so I had no clue what it was. Right.
Scorpio,
and so
thanks for being
I
here.
thought, oh, it'd be cool for us to be building stuff on TV. Like, that's all I thought about. I didn't dream of it. It wasn't a big wish for me. It wasn't like, oh, one day I'll be on TV. I watch movies and sports, you know, and so I never thought of it. I never knew what reality TV was until after season 1, you know. And I watched a few other reality TV shows, but I never knew. So no, I never had a desire. Matter of fact, Fri Martel got mad at me and they fired me from when they were first trying to do this other reality show, and they were like, because they were doing it, they were like, y'all gonna be in it, and everybody's like, oh yay, and then it was like, Marsau, we supposed to be filming today. I'm like, nah, I'm out of town, guys. They're like, fine, you fired. I'm like, okay.
Y'all know that?
Okay. So that one that they pitched y'all, we were supposed to be in it, but I just kept.
Did y'all know that Mel and Martel had another reality show that they were going to do, and Marsau was supposed to be on it, and he declined to be there when it was time to film, and Mel fired him? Did y'all know that? I didn't know that. Let's continue.
Listen, because I didn't care less about it.
That's the first time I'm hearing this. I never knew that, because what they showed me were just them like breaking down walls and all this other stuff. So I was telling Kimmy that the moment I saw your casting tape, the moment I saw you say to our producer was, if the school calls and it's about the kids, I'm going to say, hold on, let me get my wife. It took something that small of a soundbite for me to say, this man belongs on television.
Oh, word.
Because up until that point, a lot of these reality shows were about women, the dynamics of women, the friendships of women. I wanted to do something where the men had a voice, and I knew that your voice was going to be so controversial because a lot of men think like you, my father included. My father is Marsau Scott. Like, my brother named Tone, he says Marsau is me. Like he's even like, Marsau is the man. Everybody in the D be like, we all think like Marsau. I don't understand why he gets so much shit. We all think like him. Do you think you get a bad rap for being a husband and a father who low-key represents a large majority of men.
I think so. I think that part of what they can identify is some of the stuff that on the surface they didn't like in a previous relationship. But one of those things that you have to respect. Like, you may not like it. They may see it and it may represent something that they thought they wanted to get away from, something that their husbands do. Like, a comedian can't tell a joke and all the whole audience laugh and no one identify with it. You know what I'm saying? And so people identify with it, but their challenge is they don't want to identify with the same. It's the same argument that married people have with their spouse at home. When we talk about roles and responsibilities, trust me, somebody cooks, somebody does this, and everybody wants to act like it's not a role, not a responsibility. But at the end of the day, humans, we fall into those categories, but they don't like it.
Well, I think they don't like it because it doesn't go with this new narrative, right? I'm from Detroit, right? We're both from Michigan. We're around the same age. I grew up in a household where my mother was a housewife and my father worked at Ford Motor Company. Mm-hmm. So my father with 10 kids, I'm a product of 10 kids. My father worked all the time. They had gender roles. And my mother was happy being a housewife. She loved it. She wanted 12 kids. God bless her with 10. So that was her dream. My mother, before she passed, always said to me, you and Tisha reminded her of her marriage to my dad, because they believed in gender roles. They believed in this hierarchy of, I fix my man's plate. My man disciplined the kids.
Yeah, be louder.
You know what I'm saying? So what I realized when it came to the show is that was my reality in the 80s and 90s, right? We're now in 2023, and we now live in this world where women are saying we want more, and rightfully so, but you are seen as somebody who is a caveman. But do you think it's because when it comes to, let's say, the Black household, when it comes to the Black household, do you feel women nowadays no longer want to serve their husbands? And when I say serve, I don't mean the physical nature of like serving the plate, but serve meaning being a woman who allows her man to be the head of the household.
Dear Dr. Ng, my missing teeth isolated me from the world. I trusted Clear Choice, and you...
I think that, Carlos, I think it's an interesting dynamic that we've been creating, okay? And the challenge is that it comes from, there's two places that you can arrive to thinking like Marsau. One comes from a controlling standpoint that says, I'm the king, everyone serves me. Or from a different standpoint that says, I'm the king, I serve the kingdom, right? And so there's a whole different aspect of it. That's why even like when the Bible talks about in order to be a king, you have to have a servant's heart, because a servant serves one king. The king serves the entire kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so when you look at it from that different perspective, I remember my dad worked at Pontiac Motors, right? GMC. And he worked there. My mom worked for my aunt. Then divorce, other stuff, life happens, and we're all living with my mom. Dad's not in the picture for a little while. And at that point, we started experiencing, we were poor then, but we started experiencing some of the worst poverty ever. And I watched my mom. With 8 kids. I seen one of her checks, right? One of her checks was like $426 from 2 weeks of work. I remember getting, taking a pizza home from church events so we could eat. I eat the crust, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like all of this stuff right here. I remember about to get evicted from Fred D. Smith, and I had to take $415 over, to things. So I remember these different things, right? And so, of course, growing up, you're that guy I moved out of my house when I was 13. I lived with one of my uncles, lived with another one of my uncles, then I lived with my friend's mom. I had 3 jobs. I worked at Arby's, Oakland Press, and I delivered Arby's, Oakland Press, and I cut grass.
At 13?
13 years old, right?
Why did you leave at 13 though?
Because there were 6 boys, 2 girls in my house, and we had no money. We couldn't do anything. I slept in my uncle's basement, my other uncle's living room, going to school, riding a bike all around Pontiac. And so work has been something I've been very, very accustomed with. I was the guy that I used to have like 11 cars on my front lawn. That would be like, 500 or best, runs great, needs minor work type. This is before I could even drive. You know what I'm saying? And so I was always a hustler, always with business, but I always was like, I'll work so you don't have to. And I bear that with a...
Okay, so do you guys remember when they had Marsau and Maurice's dad on the show, and he talked about how he worked and worked and worked and worked, and how he was more so focused on getting all these hours and how he was a workaholic. My question is, if you knew that you had 8 children that was at home and barely had food to eat and was about to get evicted and all these things, if you're working all these extra hours, why was he not taking care of his children? Because they're on the show bigging him up like he's this great dad. Oh, you're this wonderful dad. Dad, you are awesome dad. But dad was not sending no money home to mama, who he left 8 kids with, while he was in Pontiac, Michigan, working at this Pontiac place. They were saying at the car place, making cars. And you knew your kids were sleeping in basements and on floors and did not have food and had to take food from the church in order to get by. And mama only making $452 every 2 weeks. And dad is pulling in all these hours, making good money. So what was he doing? Did he leave their mother for another woman? What was he doing? Why would he abandon his children and then pop up on national television on the show that they're on to act like he was this father who was there? That's weird to me. That's weird to me. But let's continue.
A level of pride. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I didn't realize it until I was talking about Shaq and Kobe one time. And I was like, dang, if I was on the team, I want to be the Kobe. Because I'm thinking, oh yeah, I want to be the one that's taking care of it. I can guide this. But then I didn't realize that's being a bad teammate. That's not passing the ball all the time. That's, taking the brunt and saying I'm a protective provider, but not, so what the hell you go to school for? And so it's a paradigm shift out of love that I had to step back and do something that's against my nature, what I thought was good. You know what I'm saying? And thank God that we have enough love to get us through that area when I wasn't a good teammate. And then now, being married 17 years, figuring out, okay, how do I do this? Because I don't know how this works. You know what I'm saying? Because women talk about protection and provision. I bet you they ain't going 50-50 on the protection. I bet you if somebody broke in their house 10 times, Tisha ain't like, well, shit, you got the last 8. Let me get these 2. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody going 50-50 on the provision. I mean, on the protection. So, I got you.
Do you think there's this, and I'm asking you questions based on how I know Black men view the world, right? Do you think there's this era of the demasculation of Black men? And when I say that, what I mean by that, I don't mean feminine, gay, or nothing like that. I want to be clear for the audience before they misinterpret what I'm saying. There's this narrative that women want to be a man and that women are becoming more masculine. And due to these women wanting to be a boss, and I don't need no man, I can do this myself. Mm-hmm. Do you think that is what's causing marriages not to last? Because no longer do a woman want to play her role in terms of being a feminine woman, allowing her man to be the head of the household because you want to change the tire. You want to boss up on me. You want to do all these things and emasculate me in the process.
Well, look.
Why do I feel like he's indirectly trying to talk about Melody right here? Do you guys remember where he talked to, where he was saying to Melody on the stage, this was the same, I want to say the same reunion where he broke down and started crying over Martel. And he asked Melody, he said that, do you think that you forgot about your husband, meaning Martel? Do you think that your marriage did not work out or lasted because you forgot about your husband in the process of you climbing the ladder of success and you forgot about him? And Mel said, no. I don't think I'm the reason for that, because at the end of the day, Martel didn't play his cards right. And I feel like he was jealous of her all the time. And I always say it, if you're in a marriage, if your wife is making it, then so are you, because you guys are one. But when you have that other spouse who's always looking at the fact that he's the man of the house, and if anybody should make it, it's got to be him. No, it doesn't have to be that, because the wife may be smarter in other areas that you are not. So fall back and let her have that, and then you guys be successful together. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. Okay. I mean, but Carlos, I don't think you need to speak on any when it comes to marriages and how women should do or how women do, period, because you don't know how a woman operates. You've never been with a woman. You don't know. I mean, you came from a woman, but you don't know how women operate. You really don't. So for you to question how a woman is, that conversation should be so far from your mind, sir, because you continue not to get it right. And you blame the woman for being a successful, independent woman, and you look at that as being too strong. And I don't see that as being that at all. I don't see a woman being too strong because she wants to be independent and she wants to run things, especially if her husband is not stepping up and doing what needs to be done. Melody was running everything in their marriage. Martel was a tag along. So that does not make her this woman who does not know how to submit and have a husband in the picture. And that does not mean that she forgot about her husband. That just means that she is taking on the responsibility of pushing forward to make things successful so that they can live a certain type of way because he's not taking the initiative to do it.
I think that it's a victim of, and unfortunately, because I have a lot of respect for single moms, I think there's an issue with that, because a lot of women, at the same time, they're nurturing and they're nurturing to their sons, right? And at the same time, they're raising their daughters so she doesn't need this. They're raising their daughters to be independent and unnecessarily. Show me a single parent, I'll show you a weak man. A lot of times, right? A lot of times, you see men don't necessarily have they don't have a father figure in their lives, right? They don't have some of the necessary traits that that takes to run a household. But then you turn around with women and they're taught to know, get out there, get your own, do your own, get all of these different things. And so the issue is, and I don't think I just think it's something we have to understand. It's how do we deal with this new dynamic of relationships? How do we deal with a man that doesn't make as much as a woman, may not be as intelligent as a woman, may not be as driven as a woman, Mm-hmm. But I still think that women want that in a man. Like, what you can't convince me of is women want to be independent. Women,
when you hear women say, "I want to be independent," that's lies. That's cap. Because it sounds good to say.
What?
Big cap. All right. For every woman out there that's making $200,000-$300,000, all she wants is a man that makes more. All right. Because women they love to make a lot of money, but women hate to spend their own money. Trust and believe that. Oh, they don't like that.
No.
Guys feel good paying mortgages. They don't. Do you think women like spending their own money? Carlos, do you?
You did one of my faces, Marsau.
I'm telling you. No. And here's the thing.
Misogynistic bullshit.
So here's this is the money relationship, right?
Okay.
Women tend to want a man that makes more money than them, right? What they don't understand is the more money they make, the less men fit in that category. And for men that make more money, they have more options. The more money they make, the more women fit in that category. So the challenge is then, if women want this guy up here that they like, right? Because it doesn't have to be even this thing about this bus driver. It doesn't have to be a thing about money, right? But when you start thinking, if a woman said, I want a guy who makes good decisions, he's intelligent, he's a man of his word, he's ambitious, he's industrious, and you start naming all different things, that dude got money. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You can't be all those things and not have money. So the kind of man you want probably has money, right? And so
the problem is, not to cut you off, I agree with you. And I think, oh my gosh, I just have what Oprah calls an aha moment. What you just said makes sense to me. You're saying that when a woman says she wants a man who's ambitious, driven, makes good decisions, more than likely that man has a lot of money. He makes money. I'm sorry, let's say he makes money. He makes money. Mm-hmm. I think the issue is that some women, because a bus driver can make that much money, but when a Black woman who is the highest entrepreneur in the world, she's the largest burgeoning entrepreneur in the world, because in my opinion, Black women are smarter than anybody in the world. In my opinion, just saying. Right? Okay. Because a Black woman has Black female friends and they're all doing it, making all this money, when they're at their brunches or the sorority sister's house and they talk about their man, what your man do, girl? Oh, he a bus driver. And I think it's the title that makes it bad for them versus the individual. Because I agree with you. I don't think it has to do with how much money he has. He has money if he's all those things. I think a lot of times it's the perception of impression amongst your friends. It's the idea. Go ahead.
No, I agree with that to a certain extent. Because the other extent is that at this point right now, when we look at, let's say, success in a business, right? We can say things like billionaire, multi-millionaire, because what we equate a championship to me, having the money is nothing more than just having a championship. It's like having a trophy, right? And what it's saying is, the collection of my decisions have led me to this point. This makes my business successful. I made $20 million because of my decisions and my consistency, whatever, right? What we're asking ourselves, and I think it's a very fair question, is what decisions led him to being a bus driver? And I think it's fair, right? But now here comes that Kevin Samuel stuff they don't want to hear, right? What decisions have you made that led you to where you're at? Because at this point, being a single older woman who wants a relationship, there's a question: how come you don't have one? If you're attractive, if you've done this, if you've done this, because the challenge that women don't get is that they put all these different pieces to the puzzle in their lives. They get money, they get this, they get the house, they get all this stuff together, and now that last piece of puzzle has to go in. He has to be the exact right shape, the exact right contour for their puzzle. He has to be perfect in order to fit into the life that they've done around him. Conversely, when people like me and Tisha get together at 25 and 27, neither one of our puzzles together. So we get a chance to build this thing and grow this thing together around different things. And so I think it's a tough challenge. It's a tough challenge getting in relationships early, or getting in relationships after you start forming your life, because now that person has to be perfect. Now that person has to really fit into this scenario, and they have to be everything, So thank God I ain't in that boat.
Well, let's talk about the boat that you are in. You're on the Tisha Love boat.
All right.
And we're talking about the fact that you two met 25, 27 years old. You built this life for yourself to the point where you're able to talk about a family crest, which everybody should look into, because that's very important when you make a certain amount of money, to be able to really sustain generational wealth and make sure that your offspring and whomever can take what you build and build a life from it.
Sure.
So when it comes to your wife, Tisha, a lot of people have said some very nasty things about your wife. They've called her everything from stupid to naive to...
All right, let's get past this.
To not standing up to you, to being weak. To the point where when I had Tisha on my podcast, she mentioned how she took a break from social media because it was very hurtful for her to read those comments. As her husband, when you read those comments about your wife, somebody who you've been with for 17 years, as the man, the provider, how does that make you feel when you read those things?
That's the one thing that was tough for me, because I got thick skin. I mean, when you're growing up poor, you got to have hands or be funny, and at times I had hands and a lot of times I was funnier, right? And so you can get people off you like that. So social media for me has been the lunch table. You say a joke on me, cool, I'm back at you, and I'm having fun. But then I turn around and I look at my better half, and it's affecting her more than I thought it should, and that's a growth thing. That's a thing that no human's capable of that. Like don't care what nobody says. All right, number one, people read the comments. Bottom line, they fucking read the comments. All right, and two, people saying good things about you make you feel good. People saying bad things about you, especially when it's a collection of them, you don't feel good, right? And what you have to learn is how to allow your opinion of yourself to be greater than their opinion. But it was a tough situation. It was a tough situation. Like we would have great summers and great beginnings, and then as soon as the show started airing and we started getting things, we'd get into this little area. And I watched her fight through that for the last 3 or 4 years. But for first 3 or 4 years, I went through it for about a week, and she went through about 3 or 4 years. And to see her go through that and emerge into a more beautiful.
Talk to me, not to cut you off. When you say go through that, what does that look like?
I'm saying is that
like is it depression? Is it in the bed? Is it crying?
It's not crying. It's not outward, but you being around somebody this long, you know the energy. Bottom line, right? So you know what's really we're having arguments that we never had before, and then what's worse is like when we're filming, right? What's worse is that I'm not talking to my wife. I'm talking to the person acting as Marsau's wife. Not making sense?
Explain that to me. No, I want to go there with you. Explain that to me.
It's a looking glass self. And so everybody, I watch all my castmate students, right? Some do it to more extent than others. What they do when they get in scene, they look at it and they ask themselves, what is everybody going to think about this scene? And then there comes an overreaction. And so reality TV is real, right? And it's real to the point of even when something may not be totally, you got to tell a story. It's what would you do if, and what would you do if this right here? So the same time that someone may say this word right here, they might call you a bitch and you don't think twice of it. When you're being recorded, you can't let them call you a bitch in front of everybody. So now this is your reaction, how you do that.
So when I'm so happy we're having this conversation. Number one, you're right. So what I tell my raindrops, Marsau, is I call it, there's various degrees of this when you are a reality star, but I call it the red light special because it's when the red light comes on that camera and you sort of transform a little bit. You sort of, you're activated a little bit more, right? And sometimes you're having conversations and you're saying things with social media in mind, with the viewers in mind.
Exactly.
So me and Tisha, I'm speaking for you. Me and Tisha may have a disagreement on a Tuesday at 1:00 with no cameras. It's going to be very different if it's Wednesday, 1:00 with cameras.
Two situations. The other side of the tracks and being jealous. Those were not situations where I would never take a dig at my wife, right? Ever. And I didn't see it like that. And even if I stepped on your toes and you say, oh, baby, you're on my toes. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to be on your toes. But when I step on your toes and you punch me in the back of the head and I don't even know I stepped on your toes, now we're like, why'd you hit me? And even though I created the first offense, that offense was incidental, right? And even if it's wrong, I'll never say again, I did not mean that. It's not what came out. I mean, it's what came out, but it's not what I meant. The reaction that I got was a videotape reaction. And so what's been what's been challenging with me a lot of times is that it's like,
living with opioid addiction can be a struggle, trapped in a cycle of opioid use, withdrawal, and cravings. Sublocade is for adults with moderate to severe.
Be honest.
And it hasn't been this way until like the last couple of years. It's like, I'll say the first year we did it, then a couple of years it's been kind of like, who am I filming with, dog? Like this ain't us. And I'm so happy that we went through that, right? I'm so happy, guys. Thank you, everyone who called her stupid. Thank you, everyone who's called it dumb, who said anything bad about our relationship, because we've never been tested. And most people in a relationship never get tested. And so now, back against the wall, y'all forced us back to the love. It was Marsau and Tisha against the world. Fuck us now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, thank you. I appreciate it, because now all the deals make us stronger. And people don't understand the strength of Tisha. I'll tell you what, they can't even take a person in a county not liking them, let alone motherfuckers on TV, up and down. Stupid. You should leave them up. It's coming against the best things you ever had in your life. All right. And you tell me that person can maintain and keep moving forward through all of this, being submissive. People think submissive is weak. Submission only comes through strength. Anybody can get their ass whooped. Anybody can get killed. You know what I'm saying? It took Jesus to say, no, I'm gonna lay down my life. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can get killed. They'll crucify niggas all day. But him to say, you know what, I could stop this, but I'm gonna give this up. I could be a boss, but I'll take this right here. That's submission. That's a lot more strength than anything else.
Go ahead, brother. That was okay.
Yeah.
First of all, I think you're very smart. And the reason why I think you're smart is because, listen, we have conversations all the time. I call Marcel sometimes for business advice, like, yo, I'm trying to do this, whatever, because he is very, very, very smart. And one thing I know about Tisha is the fact that I could not agree with you even more. Tisha is very strong. And this is coming from somebody who's been doing this for over 15 years. I've seen comments break people to the point where, this is no shade, I've seen it break people to the point they refuse to come back to the show.
Right.
Or to your point, they start to become someone else. And I'm like, this ain't the person I hired. I don't know who I am anymore. And that's what happens. And one thing I always said about Tisha is herself. And let's not negate the fact that your wife is one of the most beautiful women on reality television. And let's not act like that don't play a part in some of the hateful comments, because if Tisha was, and this is, listen, I think God's children are all beautiful because we are all created in his image. And that's how I feel. There's some people that a lot may say are unattractive. Your wife is not one of them. So when Tisha chocolate skin glistens on 4K HD, people are going to go in even further because
thick.
Well, I ain't gonna say all that because that's your wife.
Make me stutter.
So the thing is, I don't think people ever talk about the fact that it's also because your wife is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I'll end with this. I've been around this world for a very long time, like you have, my brother. When people say, oh, Tisha, you should leave him, I want to know the man you're with. Because what I have seen in my everyday life, some of you women, and this is no shade, some, not all, before y'all read me, some of y'all are with men who don't even pay you attention, can afford to pay attention if they even could have, if they had it. And y'all with them anyway. So if she likes it, my point is we all love it. And apparently something's working because right now, Marsau, you literally have a multi-million-dollar business courtesy of building these businesses and making sure that you allow this platform to promote it too. So talk to us about that, because you leaving the house at 13 years old, you being homeless, your father in the scene telling you need to slow down. You're like, when you said this, I was like, oh my gosh, I relate to him. When you said, I just don't want this to go away. Like, I feel like I'm putting words in your mouth. You felt like imposter syndrome. Like, I have all this, I got to keep it going before this shit stops at some point. Yeah. Do you ever look back in your life and say, this poor kid from Pontiac has amassed himself to have a multi-million-dollar business?
Where is this business? I'm sorry. Where is this multi-million-dollar business? Because I'm sorry, I gotta pause it. Carlos, are you the Lulu? Are you not seeing all the damn loans and shit that they got to keep taking out in order to keep their business running? Multi-million-dollar businesses don't have to keep doing that if it's steady making the money like it's supposed to. Like, this is weird. I
do, but I don't look at my bank statements and I don't read my fan mail.
You don't need to.
You don't look at your. Let's have a real conversation. Black man to black man, because I'm gonna be real. When I first started making money, and this is back in the,
every day.
You didn't check your
every day, 3 or 4 times a day. Make sure it's still there, right? This can't be real, right? But then when you start cutting them checks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you start cutting them checks, and you make a couple deals and you make a couple different things, and then all of a sudden it's kind of, you get aggressive to a different level of business. You know what I'm saying? And that business is from good to great. And so it's no longer what are you doing again? What can you do consistently that's going to really elevate this business and put you on the regular platform? Because we got to stop being the biggest black business. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's time to get to the money. Like what are you doing out there? What are you doing in the GC world? Not the biggest black GC, but what are you doing in the GC world? And so I think that it makes me feel good that these things that I hope for are actually working. And like, you think you got an idea, like just like you watching TV, like you have an idea, and you remember when you were sitting on the end of the bench saying, "Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. I know I can do this." And seeing you out there, and at first it was a joy just to be on the floor, and all your family was there for the first game you're starting. Now you're trying to go for a championship. Now you're saying, "Hey man, I might be let's see how good I am, because I got this thing and it's from Lil Wayne. Maybe it won't, right?" Because right now, Scope is going for $1 billion. And I think that's in the horizon. I'm not saying this year, next year. I'm saying that, and I think the next 10 years, maybe it won't. Then again, maybe it will. You feel me? You feel me? Fuck it, right? You get a couple of 50 million years. Shit, let's do it.
This is what I know for sure. And I never said this publicly, but I'm going to say it now. Of everybody I have ever worked with, this cast has the greatest ability to amass $1 billion business if y'all stay focused and really work to getting it. Because there is something about this cast And I do think it's because we're all from humble beginnings, right? There's this drive and ambition that y'all have, in addition to being smart. And the one thing I love about y'all, unlike some other folks I used to work with, y'all don't have no desire to go to Hollywood or to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to go to, like, and when I say go to Hollywood, I mean like, I want to like spend my money on mansions in Beverly. Like, y'all have this very smart sensibility of like, I am making a shitload of money living in a place where real estate is affordable. Why in the world, just because I'm on the #1 show on this network, waste my money trying to keep up with y'all posers, private jets, mansion, like I said, on the Hollywood Hills, attending these events so I can, because I'm on TV. Y'all do, when I say none of y'all have that, and I'm always impressed that 5 years later, not one of y'all have ever said to me, how long is the show gonna last because we want to move to X, Y, and Z?
No. And part of it is self-awareness. All right, keep it a buck. Part of it is you'd rather be a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in a big pond. So keep it a buck. You know, and you get to be big enough in that small pond. See, you big in the big ponds. It's business, baby.
And that's what I want the world to know too. And just so y'all know, and we're gonna move on to tonight's episode. My claim to fame, Carlos King, is I was always a big fish in a small pond. And even when I wanted to play with the big boys, I stopped thinking about joining them.
Shut up, Carlos. Stay on the bullshit.
And instead said, I'm going to create my own. And that's why I created this company that created a show that has you guys on it and have this platform, because I don't desire to be amongst them.
Right. Hey, Carlos, I called you a year ago, right? I called you a year ago. Me and T were down at the F1 race in Miami.
Yeah.
And you had landed some kind of deal. I forget what it was, right? And
God, don't make me cry. Yes. Okay, go ahead.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I called you and I was like, I said, Los. I called you because I got this feeling. I was like, Los, let me tell you something, dog. You didn't get chosen for any other reason than you deserve to be there. It ain't no blessing from God. It ain't no, wow, I'm supposed to be here. No, you are the best option. And you walk in there knowing that you're the best option. Walk in there knowing it. And so even when we get blessed from humble beginnings, right? We have to understand that if they had a better option, they'd take it. If I had a better option, I'd take it. You know? And so you're in the room because you deserve to be there. Now, I'm not saying God doesn't open doors, but he opens doors.
Right, because I want the world to know God does bless us, and you didn't mean anything by that. I want the God blesses us.
But he blesses, he blesses. God's not stupid. You know what I'm saying? He's not blessing my kids with a brand new car, right? So he blesses people that are capable of using the blessing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But I do want to give you flowers, man. I love to see, all right, when we agree, when we disagree, no matter what. I love to see someone who believes in themselves and is dedicating their lives to it and pursuing every passion. Those are the biggest successful people.
I appreciate that. I thank you for that. I forgot about that. You're right. And the one thing you said to me that I won't ever forget, Marsau Scott said to me, and I felt, listen, I didn't say this to you. I felt some kind of way when you said this to me. You said, Los, you think it's small, brother. And I said, what are you talking about? You said, you're a big deal. And I don't think you know that. Like, you gotta, man, you big. And I feel like you could be bigger if you own it. Like, you big. Stop thinking small. And I was like, I thought I was thinking big. You was like, no, you ain't. And I really sat back and was like, and you're the second person in my life to say that to me. And it truly did transform something in me, because I was like, I'm the king of reality TV. You like, yeah. I'm telling you right now, bro, you think it's too small. You don't own your own shit. You don't really pop off like you need to. Like, I'm that, whatever. Like, start thinking big and being big and owning your big space. So, want to let you know that. Yes. Okay. Tonight's episode, we saw that you and your wife, plus your brother and Kimmy, were talking about the last meeting of the Black Expo. Your brother Maurice said that if Melody isn't there, he doesn't want to be involved. And you and Tisha, because you're a jokester, I want people to know he was joking before y'all try to make up. Although he doesn't care, but I like to say it anyway, because y'all control him, he'll troll right back.
What's up, Snatch?
You made a comment like they got bit by a hope. Referencing Melody. how did you feel knowing that your own brother felt like, well, damn, we need Melody to be a part of this, and if it's not all of us together, is the Black Expo even worth pursuing?
Dude, it reminds me of Michael Jackson Thriller, when all the zombies are coming around, and you look back, and then he done turns into a zombie too. You like, goddamn, bro, not you too, man.
Wait, so is Maurice a millimeter?
I think, bro, like, bro, what we doing, dog? Like, what we doing, bro? Like, man, come on now. I'm looking at him like, gas. This dude done changed. It's like, I was like, bro, not you too, man. Come on. He done got a little shirt that says millimeter. Damn.
Yo, Maurice, I didn't know you were a millimeter, bro. So,
like, bro.
So welcome to the club.
Dog, man. The Twilight Zone for real. I'm like, bro, this guy is killing me, man. You know? I'm like, man, nah.
Did you think that you would get so much pushback from the Black Expo because people thought, well, Kimmy, let's just say, Kimmy thought y'all pretty much were trying to do the comeback group, but calling it something else, and that Black Expo was really a Marsau and Tisha thing?
Yeah. I think part of that is, but we have to understand something. The comeback group ain't did nothing. Okay?
I didn't mean to laugh.
Ain't did nothing. All right. So that was, you know what I'm saying?
You know, why that made me laugh out loud, because I think I just thought of those meetings and I'm like, y'all don't do shit in those meetings but talk.
But talk. And then they come out and talk and talk and talk. And then got the nerve to form an LLC and then never pay tax on that motherfucker. All right. So I'm like, bro, somebody can do something. Hey, this is real talk, right? This is why you should pursue your ideas. In 2000, Maurice came up with the idea that you could speak any language into like a device and it could translate the language.
Live.
That's the comeback group, right? Great idea. Who owns the patent?
Live.
That's real. That's definitely real.
Maurice
thought of that idea in 2000. He would tell me about this, and he did about 14 minutes worth of research.
I took two things that I love, dancing and dogs, and I made them into a successful business.
Maurice is saying that
just said
Marsau is saying that Maurice came up with the idea where you can speak into a device and translate like Spanish into English. That's a damn lie. Y'all know how long that's been out. He's saying that Maurice came up with that idea in 2020. Why is he sitting on this damn interview lying? If he came up with the idea, why didn't he patent that? He could have been a millionaire, but like a real millionaire, and not running around here having to rent Lambos and really had a paid limbo with a pink slip versus just getting a love and marriage Huntsville check. When did he come up with that concept and or idea? I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anybody in the chat believe that bullshit? I don't believe it.
There's so many people out there, and you'll hear this, and y'all haven't picked up on it yet. You'll hear, don't leave an idea around Marsau, right? I'll take your shit. If you're not, I won't take your idea. But let me tell you something. I promise when Kitty gets on this book and anybody else, they're gonna say you're right. Because my thing is like, oh, that's a good idea, right? People don't even understand the flex of buying patents and taking people's ideas. You know what rich people do? They tell you shit like, oh man, that's a good idea. I'll buy it off you.
Yes.
Great idea.
I'm about to say that's what they either buy it off of you or they put their name on it.
Or
it's the story of McDonald's. How McDonald's isn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was stolen from those brothers. Yes, because they didn't do nothing with it. Yeah.
I tasted black chocolate in a bottle. I was like, wow. I tasted chocolate in a bottle. I was like, I want this to say black. This should say black. You know,
white labeled.
So yeah, so we did that. We repackaged it and said, and guess what we did? Something. So go see.
Listen, it's funny. Everyone talks about who's my favorite. I don't have a favorite, so I love you all. But you are definitely one of, because
one of your 7 top favorites.
Right, I have 7 favorites, exactly. Because I love you because you are so honest. You're like, so what? We took the comeback group, put me and Tisha face on it, and called it Black Expo because I'm branding BLAQUE. And one more thing, I expected a text from you when your black ass poured the champagne in the wine glasses, and we did a nice little close-up shot of black.
Oh, I was out of town. I didn't get a chance to see it.
Okay, we can watch it. But I love the fact that you're like, yeah, we did it. And what you gonna do about it? And what's funny is, not to give it away, the only thing I'll say is you will see the expo. It took you and Tisha 4 weeks to do something y'all been talking about for 4 years.
You know what's funny, Carlos? I'm gonna tell you something, dog. We got a team full of We got a team full of shooting guards, right? Everybody on the team is a team full of shooting guards, and our team doesn't lack leaders. We lack leadership. Somebody got to take the wheel. And guess who did it? Tisha.
Ooh.
Pop your teeth. Pop your teeth.
There goes that dumb, naive, weak woman.
Weak woman, weak, stupid, can't do nothing without nobody. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? The only shit that ever been done with the comeback group has been done by who? Not everybody's welcome to do their own expo now after this.
Y'all hear this?
Like Teddy Pendergrass said, the doors are open. The door is wide open for you. The door is open.
So look, before I let you go, one of the biggest scenes tonight's episode, you know, I enjoy seeing you help Martel studying for his test, right? To get his license, his general contracting license. And in those conversations, he talked to you about the challenges he has with co-parenting, right? And you gave some great advice. And even what I love that you said was, it's always easy to say what I would do if I were in your situation, but I just don't know what that would be like. Who knows how me and Tisha would be if we were faced with that sort of adversity. And I really appreciated that. We saw tonight, you know, Martel well, I don't want to put words and I don't want to say words that can be, you know, misleading, but
they're gonna take it anyway.
They're gonna take it anyway. No matter what I say, it's gonna be the top story. Okay. Martel attended his daughter's birthday party. He wasn't invited because Melody wanted to
listen to this.
Keep it just for the family, not have any drama in there, because when they're in the same room, as we all know, producers, friends, when they're in the same room, anything can happen. You just don't know. So she wanted to just have it for there. To me, it's a very, very tough situation because I've been blessed to not be the product of divorced parents. So I don't know what the right or wrong thing. I just don't. I don't know, and that's the reason why I literally do not judge anything they do, and I do mean that. I don't call them saying you should have done that. Ask Mel and Martel. When it comes to them parenting, I don't say shoulda, woulda. That's for them to decide what's best for their families and to not get involved. You being friends with them, did you ever think, as close as they were, that things would be where it's at now?
Los, I'm gonna tell you. Well, two things. One.
That's just bad, you guys. Sorry. We're back.
Tisha was at the party, which is Tisha gonna be at the party. Shit, you might as well bring my child. But no, but I understand, because what Tisha and Mel have, that conflict they have, is extremely trivial.
Yes.
Extremely trivial, to the point where they could get into it, but there's nothing deeper. There's nothing under the surface.
No.
Right? It's a big long scratch, but nothing's deep, right? With Mel and Martel, because you have love, right? You have so much hate. You have to have love to have hate. And you've got so much animosity that I know that we're not getting the full story. Okay? I know that you're not getting the full story. We're not getting the full story because no one can, on the surface, fight this long. Right? I never, you know, they're as much as they strayed away and the friendship strayed away, there was a friendship before we started filming, and they were us. They were a group of us that me, Reese, Kimmy, and T could go around and be like, oh no, you know, we don't fuck with them. Like they're cool, right? And so it's such a challenge because they're both intelligent, right? That they would get to this point where neither one of them can see straight. You know, I think a little bit is the red light special, and I think the other part is you have kids involved, and you have a level of love still there. That's the biggest challenge part that no one wants to admit. All right, no one wants to admit it. Martel doesn't want to admit it. Melody doesn't want to admit it. Right? You don't keep playing these games with somebody that you don't feel an inkling for. And my thought process is this. After 10 years, you expect, or 10 or 11 years, 12 years, I don't know what it was, you expect to have a little bit of residual, you know? And you tell me that after 12 years of marriage, I can get up and walk away and not give a damn about the person I was there, then I'm a shit husband, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I think that the dynamic, and then us forcing them to be back in their same space, they haven't had enough time to break. They haven't had enough time to heal. I think part of it's settling in now, but I mean,
you hear that, Carlos? Now, I don't usually agree with Marsau, but what he just said right here, where you're forcing Mel and Martel to try to film together when they're already going through this hard time and they're just freshly divorced, it's just not normal. Mel is still hurting. Martel is still going through whatever the hell he's going through and lashing out. It's not a great environment for everybody on set and involved with this show to continue to have Martel, who is very problematic and who's the issue in this. He stepped out. He cheated. He put out the revenge P. He tried to fight Mel. He's steady going to court and filing all these motions. It's him. So instead of Carlos removing him so that the show can run a little bit more smoother, then he keeps him there because he don't know how to separate friendship from business, and it's causing friction between the cast. Everybody else can see that except Carlos, because he is so busy kissing people's ass, he won't do his fucking job. And it's going to cost you in the end, because if Martel goes off and puts his hands on somebody and hurt them, you're getting sued. Kingdom Reigns Entertainment is being sued, and OWN is being sued as well. And I keep saying, if I was Mel, I would sue the fuck out of Kingdom Reigns and OWN for putting me in a hostile working environment. I promise you, because she's already told you what Martel was about. You already know the court violations and everything else with Martel. You know he's been found guilty of harassing communications and all this other stuff. But you still continue to keep him on here, even though he doesn't have a storyline or anything to fall back on. What is his purpose of being on the show? He don't have no businesses. I just did a live today showing that he don't even have his wine business anymore. And that was the only thing he was holding on to. So what is the point of keeping him on a show when you just said, Carlos, that the show is getting ready to take a turn for Black businesses? Business and business excellence. There's nothing excellent about having no fucking businesses. There's nothing excellent about being in and out of court and being found guilty of revenge P almost, because he's about to be. Like, come on now. This is come on. I don't usually agree with Marsau, but that part I do.
As I was telling Maurice and Martel and Lewis that I could have been divorced too.
Check this out.
But like this makes me look at the shit I'm looking at in real life and saying, maybe I can figure this thing out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because I'll be damned if, you know, Tisha doing whatever or me catching Tisha cheating on me again is going.
Y'all catch that? Did y'all catch that? Did y'all catch that? I'll be damned if I catch Tisha cheating on me again. Let me back it up. Let's back it up, child.
Now, but I mean, as I was telling Maurice and Martel and Lewis that I could have been divorced too. Mm-hmm. But like this makes me look at the shit I'm looking at in real life and saying, maybe I can figure this thing out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because I'll be damned if, you know, Tisha doing whatever or me catching Tisha cheating on me again is going to put her out.
Again?
I can't even remember myself. But it's gonna make me like, no, I can stick this thing out. You know what I'm saying? I'll be that stupid dude.
No, I'm glad you said that, because I do think that at the end of the day, I know this to be true for you guys. It's definitely true for my heart, and I know it's true for a lot of people, that at the end of the day, we all want what's best for them, whatever that means. And that's why I have even stopped saying like, oh, work things out, get back, because I think it's disrespectful. So I've stopped saying that. I've apologized to both of them for saying those things.
I think it's disrespectful.
Yeah, right? It
is. I mean,
yeah.
Like, you're not going to tell somebody that death is one thing, but divorce, they chose to get divorced for a reason.
Yeah.
You're not going to say, I hope I get back together. Why? To go through that?
Exactly.
Go through the worst I've had in my life?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not. Why would I ever? But
Jorge has always put the ones he loves first. But when it comes to caring for his teeth...
Why would you even fix your mouth to say that for Ray, Carlos? That's fucking disrespectful.
They can't get back together. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a scarlet letters that say fool across your forehead. Unfortunate truth. You know? It's a glass that's been thrown against the wall and shattered. Would you put together the pieces and glue them back? I ain't going to hold it. If they get back together, They got the best love since Mary and Joseph. The nigga that believed his wife was having the son of God.
I just love that you know the Bible. I hope that people watch this interview and learn a lot about you, because one thing I know for sure is, listen, you're a jokester, you're the class clown, you're the comedy relief, you like to troll, you don't take anything personally. No, I love the fact that you said, I've been on the show for X amount of years. I had 1 week where I was like, this is crazy. And that 1 week you were like, I'm done with it. And that's why I love having you a part of this show, because at the end of the day, I know that you show up, you show out, you do what you got to do, and you're creating generational wealth so that one day your son, your namesake, in a perfect world, because every father's dream is for their son to take the reins of what they built for the family. So I want that for you. Although I do think Macy is going to be.
It's Macy. It's Macy. Hey, my son don't even. But you know what? They all have. We just got a trust fund for them, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't named my trust fund, I couldn't care less about your opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What y'all don't know is I'm more like Marsau than any other guy on the show. But anyways, let's move on. Marsau, where can people support Black, buy the chocolate in the bottle?
We don't care about
if they want.
What do y'all think about this interview? This is very eye-opening. This was very telling. I mean, Marsau, you kind of talked about some infidelities and stuff there. I mean, we already knew, like I said, he said in another interview that Tisha was cheat back Tisha. So like I said before, if a person is doing something back to you, that means you already did it. So, hey, that's what it's giving. But Carlos, you were telling Mel for the longest. And I remember from seasons 1 up to 3 for Mel and Martel to fix it and get back together, because you were more so focused on the ratings for your show dropping and people not watching the show, because people were tuning in really to see the dynamic between Mel and Martel. They're the stars of the shows. I feel like the Scotts are happy that Mel and Martel aren't together and that they're going through what they're going to, because they're trying to, every episode, as you can see them, Tisha's trying to be like the peacemaker like Mel used to be. Marsau and Tisha are trying to step up in Mel and Martel's spot, and it ain't going to work. The fans will not receive them as such. They're not going to be accepted as that. I'm sorry. Mel is carrying on that aura by herself. She still is. They cannot dethrone her, because the fans tune in to see her. Now, granted, she has some people who are not fans of her, who don't want to see her, who thinks that she's the worst person in this world, but she have more people who ride for her than not. Period. Carlos, I feel like you're upset that Melody has outgrown you and she don't need you anymore. So every time you do an interview with your cast or anybody else, it's weird to me how you always spin the block to ask them something about Melody. Does Marsau not have enough going on? Why you ain't asking him about when their house is going to be built? Why are you not asking him about how many times Black has been shut down? Why are you not asking him about how the lawsuit went through with Schultz? Like, why are these questions not being asked, but you're taking up time in the interview that's about Marsau to ask him questions about Mel? That's weird to me. You did the same thing when you had Kimmy on your platform, asking her about Mel, asking her about Destiny. Melody should not be in your mouth when you're asking them about them. They should have enough stuff going on with them, business-wise, relationship-wise. Talk about his marriage and stuff with Tisha. And not sitting up here deflecting and saying that, oh, Tisha's this strong woman, and I just see you guys as being this strong Black couple. Like, no, it's not. He's fucking disrespectful to his wife. We've seen it on the show. I've seen Marsau tell Tisha to shut the fuck up in a whole live, and she shut the fuck up too. I've heard Tisha say that the pressure from this show was so much until she was hollering at her kids and going into her bedroom and laying across her bed and just boo-hooing and crying. Her self-esteem has been tainted, hence the reason why she keeps getting all these fucking surgeries, because she's trying to please her husband, who she just said in the clip that I played for you guys, that he shows her no attention. And that went on for months because he was staying out most of the nights. And when he was home, he won't think about her ass. He was taking trips like going to Africa and didn't even bother to ask her, even though we know that's a trip you have to plan for well in advance. So you knew this is something you wanted to do, but you didn't think enough of your family and your better half, as you just call her in this damn interview, to ask her to even go with you, knowing that that's an experience that she's never experienced just like yourself. If you want to go and experience Africa and see how beautiful it is, then you should have asked her as well. But then you had already, I'm gonna say somebody else allegedly went with you. So then you want to come back and try to make it up to her and take her. But then in all the pictures that you guys showed of you guys in Africa, you look like you'd rather be somewhere else other than there. Tisha said y'all don't, Tisha already put it out there that you don't go on trips with them. On family trips, Marsau doesn't go. It's Tisha and the kids. So you're still separating yourself from her. But then you sit in interviews and act like you're this awesome husband and dad. This shit is so fucking weird. And your kids are sitting back watching that. Your kids are sitting back watching it. So why are you giving everybody else advice, Marsau, on what they need to do in their relationship and marriage and how they need to parent their children? You need to take the same advice because you're the same motherfucker who didn't know that their son was allergic to peanut butter and was going in there to fix some fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So that shows just how connected you are to your children and to your relationship, to where some of these things you don't even know and or give a fuck about. Because you're so self-absorbed and you can't wait to run your mouth and give everybody the long way around when we don't really give a fuck. But that is our show, guys. I just want to go over those topics. Please, if you enjoyed the show, please go ahead and like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so, okay? Yeah, please do that. Please do that. Thank you so much to my mods, KBR, and I think Scorpion Miss were modding today. Let me scroll up. Did I see anybody else? Just those two? Belle Wilson, she's usually here too. And Tara, they must be working or something. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate y'all. And to my other content creators that usually stop by, I did see Diego, thanks for being here. Diego, Snatched by Diego, I saw him here. True TV Podcast, thank you. Purple Unicorn, Aries Girl Podcast, Deary Talk Show, thank you. Messy Host ATL, Boss Lady Brand, Girlfriend Chronicles, Chronicles of Kim K, and Love Seeing Her. Thank you guys for always stopping by and supporting the channel as well. And any other content creators who may have been here that I missed, please don't charge it to my head. A bit, charge it to my heart, charge it to my head, child. Love you guys down. Thank you to my caramelians as well. Please don't forget, guys, to please sign the petition. We are trying to cut down on the bullying on social media so that we can have this as a safe space where everyone can come on and enjoy YouTube and not have to worry about bullying. Okay, so that is the link. I will post it there in the chat, as you guys can see. Please rush over there and please, please, please sign the petition. Okay, I appreciate you all. And also, was there anything else? No. All right, so thank you guys. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Love you guys down, and bye.